Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1313. That's 1313. That means this show is very unlucky. If you touch this show, a ladder will fall on top of you and a black cat. It's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, today. And the last place on earth is where we are. We will hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer,
Mike's Daily Podcast,
and get to the segment, The Wow That's Wild Files. And hey, we're back up to 128 fans.
Mike's Daily Podcast
on Facebook. We went back down to 127 a couple of weeks ago, but now we're back up to 128. Why is my eye scratching itchy? So is it scratchy or itchy? I don't know, but those were Homer Simpson characters. Simpsons show. What? Hey, it's Monday, and that means
Mike's Daily Podcast
that I hate a new podcast. Do you know what the new podcast is that I hate? It's something
Mike's
that has
Daily
this guy that's on Wait, Don't Tell
Podcast
Me all the time. No, not Peter Sagal. He's awesome. But Luke Burbank is this guy. He's on Wait, Don't Tell Me, and he's brilliant on the show. But I guess he's got a podcast where he was bragging he has over 7 million downloads a show. And he does it with this guy, and he does it daily like I do it. And I listened to a little bit of it, and it was going nowhere. Maybe kind of like what did if someone just walked in. Right now.
Mike Matthews, it's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. This show isn't going nowhere, because I walked in. Everything is good.
That's right. Everything is good because you walked in.
That's right. And I love Bob.
That's good. What'd you guys do last night?
We went grocery store shopping.
Oh, what'd you get?
We bought things to eat.
Great. Look who else just walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, I find it very intriguing that Chely Shoehart and Bob went to the grocery store and bought groceries.
That's right. John Deere, the engineer. I bought some groceries. Now, don't forget, Chase Visa. Change the things you get 5% back on.
That's right, Chely, yes. The first quarter of the year, it was gas. Now it's grocery stores and drugstores. So if you're doing all your shopping at grocery stores...
And here's today's podcast picture.
Here's a podcast pic. Oh my God, I didn't even pick one. Crap. I knew I forgot something. Oh, today, my friend, is just one of those days where something fell. Something fell that... Someone hear that at Cafe Anyway? Something fell?
Mike Matthews, at least it didn't fall on your head.
That's right. Or it should fall on my head and things would be much better. So, yeah. Stuff is falling here at Cafe Anyway, and it's not rain. It's things that could possibly hurt you. And it's... Oh! Wow, something else. Dang! This is not good. Let's see. So, last Mike's Daily Podcast show thing, we had a picture from Katie. My good friend, Lady Katie. She took this picture, actually, of a same area that I took a picture of. We are so kismet that way. But today's picture is of a weird thing. Where's my weird thing music?
Wrong.
All right, that's kind of it.
Cookie.
All right, thank you. Yeah, this is a sculpture in San Francisco. I think it's somewhere in the Market District of San Francisco, and you have to actually walk up onto this deck. It's like a patio area for all these business buildings close by, and they've got this cool sculpture. It looks like something from a Tim Burton movie. Anyway, check out that picture at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. I did not make the sculpture, but I think I am still allowed to take a picture of it. Some museums that you go to, if you take a picture of the art, they get very upset. No, don't take a picture of that Van Gogh, because you'll reprint it with your digital camera and cause the world to end. Mike, that's impossible. You can't make the world end with a digital photo. Oh, maybe you can with the fake news. Mike, fake news is something different. Mm-hmm. Mike, I believe in all kinds of conspiracy theories because of fake news. I'm Floyd the Floorman. Oh, you're like my friend that I was talking about last week. She, the one that lives in somewhere in San Ramon, she just believes in some crazy crap. And then when you tell her, well, you know, maybe you're getting these stories from Russia and the fake news, she's like, no, that's what the media, that's what the world order wants you to believe. So then what do you believe at that point? Believe nothing. But as a sign that I once took a picture of in Berkeley, it was on a marquee. I don't know if it's still up on this marquee, but it said the following: a two-legged animal will believe anything, which may very well be true. I don't know. I don't believe it. Yeah, so you can get your 5% back, cash back on things that you get at the wonderful through the Chase Visa thing. Which is good, because the other cards I have only give me like 3% or 2% for stuff like that. Anyway, I thought I would share that with you. Anyway. Anyway. The other thing, so my friend, I have a couple friends, which is odd. Who knew? Who thought that was even possible? But I have some friends, and I was invited on Saturday evening, last minute, 7:30, and I'm already in my mind saying I'm just going to relax tonight. Because my other job, they put in, because it was the weekend, they put in new carpet. They're like, well, we can't disrupt business during the week, so we'll just disrupt the work of the guys that work on the weekend. Who cares about them? Let's put in carpet. One of the guys I work with, he couldn't leave one of the rooms while they were putting the carpet down, and he apparently peed into a cup. Isn't that nice? And I did not see this, thankfully, but he, of course, had to tell me about it later. Thank you. And then he left the cup in the trash, and I took the trash can and just put it outside in the hallway. I was like, no, you know what? You just need to get rid of that cup on your own, sir, and don't even leave it. That's a hazmat issue. But neither here nor there or over there. There was new carpet put down, and it has that funky smell, that synthetic-y smell, and I had to deal with that. And then, you can't open the windows because it's a business building, which I'd like to get into this. Tell me what you think about this. Call me at 336-MM-DAILY. That's 336-MM-DAILY. Figure out the numbers yourself. 336-MM-DAILY. And my question to you is, isn't it interesting if you work in a business, in a building? Now, the building that I work at on the weekends is 5 stories tall. The one I work at during the week is 3 stories. The 5 stories one, of course, has a lot more businesses and whatnot in it. It's very interesting because I was walking in one part of the building that I'd never been in before, and I've worked there almost 5 years. And there was a whole company there that I had no idea. I'm like, oh, they got these nice chairs. It's a nice lounge area. I'm like, when did this come in? It's so weird. And isn't that life? How we walk to our office and go back home again. We walk to our work or drive or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You commute to your job and then you commute home. Job, home, job, home, job, home, job, home. And you never look at what's around you. And isn't that life? We do things, we get into a routine, and then we forget about the things that we have to live. And you blink, and all of a sudden you're bald, and you got crow's feet. What the hell happened? Your hair turned gray. Where did life go? I'm getting deep on you. I'm getting metaphysical. I'd like to see Luke Burbank do that. Oh, my point being, so I listened to a little bit of his show, and it was just rambling of nothing. And there was gas jokes. Gas being expelled from people jokes. And on and on. And I looked at the counter on the player, on my podcast player, on my smartphone, and there was another hour's worth of this. And I said, enough. No. At least this show, we max out usually around 20 minutes, and I try and cram it full of whatever I can for you. But this guy was just rambling with this other, how you doing? Oh, I'm feeling kind of bad. I'm drinking tea today. When have I ever done that? When have I ever said, oh, I'm just drinking tea today? By the way, I think I'm just going to have some root beer today. I'll pour it myself because the Brewmaster isn't here. Mike, I don't think you should do that if the Brewmaster is not here. He might get mad. Nah, I'm fine. I can do this on my own. Who gives a... Oh my God, look who just walked in.
Hi, Mac. I'm the Brewmaster. I make the root beer. Oh, boy. How dare you pour your own root beer? I do that.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
That's all right.
Are we good?
Let me pour you some.
Okay, now it's overfilling, but thank you.
Oh, boy.
That's good. So we're all good here at Cafe Anyway. So there's no filler here, no fluff. Just important things. Hey, I got my Amazon report, and apparently I didn't make any money. So why aren't you shopping on Amazon through MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com? I cannot pound this table at Cafe Anyway any harder than I am right now. I guess I could, but then my hand, the bone would just obliterate inside my hand. And that happened to Tom Petty when he was recording his famous album, Southern Accents. Love that album. It's got Don't Come Around Here No More, and whatever you're looking for. Hey! Don't come around here no more. Give it up. Stop. So my friend Pato Milo, who was on the show exactly a week ago today with his band Dead Cat Hat, told me that he stayed up very late with the guys from Dead Cat Hat and watched on Netflix the new Tom Petty documentary. I have to watch that. That seems my thing. Southern Accents by Don't Come Around Here No More was produced by David Stewart of the band The Eurythmics. That's why it has that kind of really syntho sound to it. And it's got that cool sitar in it. It's awesome. We talk a little bit about music, and we talk a little about news, and we're going to get to the news in the Wild That's Wild files in just a moment. I would like to invite you, though, to please purchase whatever you're going to buy on Amazon through MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Tell your friends to do the same. That'll help us out. Also, donate through the PayPal. You'll get a special personalized MP3 for thee from all the Cafe Anyway characters. And that way I don't have to pound tables and obliterate the bone in my hand, which Tom Petty said is what he did. He got really mad while recording Southern Accents, and he hit the wall in the studio, and it destroyed his hand. He basically couldn't play guitar for the rest of the album. 336MM Daily, if you watched that Tom Petty documentary, I'd love to hear from you. You can also text that number. Text charges apply to that thing if you do that. Oh, here is the number, 336-663-2459. 336-663-2459. Finally, the past podcast pictures are at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, and I've gotten into the bees now. Bees. Bzz. By the way, isn't it fascinating that drones... I saw a drone on Friday, a couple drones being flown, and they were using, the flyers were using, one was using their iPhone to connect to the controlling device, and the other had their tablet, their iPad or whatever, and they were... there was a camera on the drone, and they were able to see what the camera was seeing through the iPad, and they were flying around and filming it, and it was awesome. Also very illegal. You're not supposed to have those at any of the East Bay Regional Park District parks, and they were at the one at Lake Chabot, which is run by hags that yell at you if you walk in with your dog and don't pay the $2 mandatory fee. But they also yell at you, hey, you dropped your leash on your dog. you gotta pick it up, because if you don't, the dog, it's illegal. That your dog cannot be loose in our park. But yeah, the drone sounds like a hive of angry bumblebees. That's what drones sound like. Do we really want that in our new world that we live in? I was hoping it was going to sound a little bit more like the Jetsons. But no, it sounds like bzz, 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 scary as crap. Okay, it sounds a little bit more like that, but not as cool. Not as Hanna-Barbera-ish. Anyway, I'm all the way through the Bees Cafe anyway. I'm slowly getting it together. Anyway. On my interviews pages. But you can get a taste of the interviews that I've done with, and here's some amazing artists, musicians, people, just fascinating people at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Okay, now the segment called
Oh wow, that's wild.
Files. It's pretty interesting.
Trump. I guess we should call this one too.
The Royal Trump Tweet Decree.
No puppet. No puppet. It's pretty clear. You're the puppet.
Okay, this tweet came out yesterday. The real story turns out to be surveillance and leaking. Find the leakers. President Trump on Sunday called on the fake news media. Yes, aren't we supposed to hate the fake news media? To turn its attention... Oh, he's calling the media the fake news media. All right. Turn its attention to questions of illegal government surveillance and ferreting out the leakers within his administration. Last month, Trump accused former President Barack Obama of wiretapping Trump Tower, a baseless claim that Trump and his team have continued to trumpet, despite providing no corroborating evidence, according to the Washington Post. Trump aides' attempts to buttress his wiretapping allegations have been unsuccessful. Meanwhile, a House Intelligence Committee investigation into both Russia's apparent meddling in the 2016 election and Trump's surveillance claims has become deeply politicized, with the committee's chairman, Representative Devin Nunes, and I heard somebody on a podcast out of Wisconsin call him Devin Nunes. Isn't it funny? So he's from California. He's a Republican from California. And the other guy, Whitecliffe, what's his name? The one, the Democrat on the team. I can't think of the name at the moment. Also from California. So everybody must be saying, it's all California's fault in the rest of the country. But the congressman showed that Trump campaign officials were caught up and, in some cases, unmasked in a broader surveillance of foreign nationals. On Sunday, Trump also took to Twitter to argue that the White House and congressional Republicans were still working to repeal and replace Obama's health care plan. Despite a humiliating defeat last month, in which House Republicans were forced to pull the replacement bill from the floor. Anybody, especially fake news, who thinks that repeal and replace Obamacare is dead does not know of its strength in the R party. Let's move on to something un-Trump-like. Is that okay, Trump? Can we move on so that we don't have to talk about you or Russia?
I say it's better to get along with Russia than not.
And your crazy mess that you have.
I inherited a mess. It's a mess.
Uh-huh.
Nobody ever told me that politics was going to be so much fun.
A Change.org petition about Melania Trump continues to explode in popularity, attracting over 230,000 signatures and becoming the site's most signed campaign this week. The petition calls for her to either move to the White House or personally pay for her New York City security expenses. Because we are now. The U.S. taxpayer is paying an exorbitant amount of money to protect the First Lady in Trump Tower located in New York City, says the petition, as to help relieve the national debt this expense yields no positive results for the nation and should be cut from being funded. There are thousands of responses on the petition's page as commenters air grievance after grievance about what they believe to be a misuse of tax dollars. Then there's this story about, well, let's get to the sad news about at least 10 people were killed in explosions in 2 train carriages at metro stations in St. Petersburg. This news, very recent, so by the time you hear this, you might get even more info on the story. Vladimir Putin, who is in St. Petersburg for a meeting with Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko, said the cause of the blast was not clear and efforts were underway to find out. He said he was considering all possibilities, including terrorism. A Reuters witness saw 8 ambulances near the metro station. 3 stations have been closed, local media outlets reported. And then this news about Alexa. Well, let's see. Oh, and one other sad story before we get to the Alexa news. And that is the tornadoes are back. And I lived in Alabama for a while and had to deal with tornadoes, and I didn't like it. But more than 40,000 households across 5 states were still without power this morning as severe thunderstorm systems killed 2 people yesterday, and they continued to sweep through the South. There have been outages in Alabama and Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana. On Sunday, a Louisiana woman and her young daughter were killed when the same system moved through that state. The sheriff's office in St. Martin Parish, Louisiana, confirmed the news. A tornado watch remains in effect until a little bit later on today for central, southeastern, and east central Mississippi, and dozens of schools will also be closed today across Alabama, along with the University of Mobile. So they get some bad weather there this time of year, and wish them all the best. Now, if you have an Alexa, here's some uplifting news for you. A lot of people, this thing is a hot device, man. I should have invested in Amazon. Of course, you can buy one through the Amazon link at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And if you've just bought your new Amazon Echo, Echo Dot, or Amazon Tap, and you're wondering how to make the most of the smart assistant features, T3 has come up with some suggestions. Amazon is updating Alexa all the time, just like Google updates Gmail. Whenever you power up your device, you have the latest version of the app. That means every day it's getting more capable and learning more skills and commands. Soon, it will take over the world, and then we'll have to have that guy come through the time vortex to save us, and he'll be followed by a robot, and he'll say things like,
"I'll be back."
You can say to Alexa, "Tell a bedtime story." The short bedtime story skill gives you a hand with your parenting duties, reading out a brief story for your kids that can even be partly personalized with their own names. Alexa, play relaxing music. Alexa has a ton of music-related tricks up its sleeve, and that's something I did. Somebody had their Alexa sitting there, and before my friend said anything to me, I was like, "Alexa, play swing music." And it was like, it played something like what you're hearing behind us now. Alexa, play Mike Matthews music. Alexa, play Mike's Daily Podcast. You'll get the audio feed from an internet radio station with a suitable selection of relaxing tunes. Alexa, turn on the lights. Amazon has recently been adding a host of smart home integrations into Alexa, so you can use your Echo device to control lights from compatible ranges. Alexa, ask my buddy to alert everyone. Set up Ask My Buddy skill, and you can instantly ping your friends and family if you get into trouble. Perfect for voice-controlled device if you're incapacitated in some way. Like, I've fallen and I can't get up. Alexa, what's the score of the game? Alexa, what's my sports update? Alexa, read my audiobook. Alexa, start a 7-minute workout. You can ask it to National Rail to check my commute. Ask thunderstorm sounds to play. Wait, what's this? Alexa, inspire me. Alexa will play a pep talk from a famous figure. Like Steve Jobs? Kevin Spacey? Oh, Kevin Spacey. He has one of the most soothing voices ever. Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, J.K. Rowling. Ask Uber to request a ride. Ask Pizza Hut to place an order. I saw that. Who's that guy? Is that the Styles guy from the who's the kid that's doing the ripoff of Ferris Bueller in those commercials? And then Pizza Hut shows up. I'm old. I don't know. But what's the weather forecast? Set an alarm. Oh my God. How many of these freaking things? They gave me 30. I'm not going to go through all of them. It can tell you a joke. Can do the Wikipedia thing. And give you the recipe for stuff. And what's the traffic. Wonderful. Well, you know, soon everyone will be ripping these off of Amazon, and you'll be telling me things like, Mike, shut up and go outside, and I will, and here I go. I'm outside a cafe anyway. We bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley, the last place on earth. Next show, 26 minutes. We'll wrap this up. It's going to be Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Have a wonderful day.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Petty.